You have a family business or you have a startup that is running on Facebook. Maybe you're selling t-shirts. Maybe you have a family business where you sell a lot of tea. Your father, who is probably the owner of that business, is earning what, 30, 40 lakh per annum. But there might be a possibility that you will not be able to count that as your work experience, even if you have worked with your father for, let's say, 2 years. Even if you have sold like 10 lakh worth of t-shirts, but you might not still be able to count it as work experience. So what are those various elements that can keep you from not registering your work as work experience, especially if you have a startup or a family business? Listen to the rest of the video carefully so that you can do whatever you need to do right away, because CAT forms will soon be out in a couple of months. So let's take a look at what is called work experience. Your eyes, your ears, and your mind should be open now. Work experience basically is something which provides you the opportunity of employability with an entity. And not during the graduation, but after graduation, which means you cannot be working somewhere full time and also be studying regularly. These two things cannot match after graduation. For full time, and you must be paid regularly, and this regularity in India means monthly. So sometimes you are paid, sometimes you are not paid, then that is not considered a full-time work experience. And in many cases, this is not fulfilled. So how to deal with that? Let's take a look at this. Understand one more important thing. Your payment should always be made digitally. Somebody is paying you through cash. In fact, if somebody is paying you through UPI, is also not going to be your salary credit. What is the issue with startup or family business? The very first issue is that it could be irregular work, let's say freelancing. Or it could be irregular work in general if you are part of a family business, or if you have your startup where the work is not regularly coming up. The second issue could be that it is an unregistered entity. Let's say your father is involved in a business. Let's say he earns 10 lakh rupees, 20 lakh rupees a year. But that might still be a shop which is not registered. There is a less chance actually for that, because now everybody has GST certificate incorporated. However, that might still be the case. But it happens a lot with enterprising youth like you, who really want to do something during their college time. So you don't register something, you earn money, maybe you pay taxes also as part of your own income tax, but that is still an unregistered entity. The third issue could be emoluments that you get in cash or UPI. Strict no. If you get that, you have money, but you don't have work experience. And finally, many people say that I have been helping my dad voluntarily. 3 years, 4 years, my father is, an LIC agent, or my father owns an agency. I'm part of it. I'm dealing with the operations there, and so and so. Everything is good. You can use all these factors, by the way, in your favor, in your personal interview, but that will not be counted as work experience. How to resolve this thing? So let's know what is not a work experience. Anything which is pre-graduation, anything which is part-time, anything which is internship, articleship, even apprenticeship. Please remember this thing. I have not written apprenticeship here, but apprenticeship also is not work experience. If you have done some good certificate courses like CA, etc., unpaid work, and cash salary, all these things are just not work experience. So what you should do for a startup? Okay. Step number 1 is full-time self-employment can only be established through a startup if you have filled income tax returns. Income tax returns of the years of employment or assessment year preceding the year of CAT registration. So if you are currently taking CAT, let's say CAT 2025, then your income tax should be of previous year. Otherwise, you cannot call it a startup entity. Many people start something, get that GST incorporated for 2 months before CAT or 3 to 4 months before CAT, and then they want to claim that as work experience. That cannot happen. Second thing, all the necessary registrations like deed and ROC firm registration certificate, GST, audited statements, etc. should all be there. I'd recommend that you pause this video for a moment, take a note of it and understand. If you have a CA, ask your CA what are the essential things that are required according to this language. Then, of course, the other document should be about your firm's name, and all these things should be after the date of award of graduation. So if you have been doing your startup for a long time and all these things are there, but this is not after graduation, then only the portion after the graduation will be counted towards your work experience. Rest will play in your favor in PI, but not for the work experience. So the marks that you are supposed to get in composite score for WorkX will be only after graduation. Some don'ts. Actually, there are not some don'ts, only one don't. The only don't is that please do not produce fake documents. You might think that you can get away with that, but interesting thing is that the moment they get to know about your fake document ever in life, your degree stands cancelled retrospectively, and whatever you have given about yourself to your life will all be in vain. And what are the do's? Please gather the documents. What all documents you should gather? If you have startup, we have already discussed what documents are required. And if you have a job, then your offer letter, salary slips, your bank statement, which should reflect your salary credit, not through UPI, but through proper company's account. And it should mention something called a salary or reimbursement. That is the kind of thing you should have. All these things will be checked during your PI. And if these things are found incorrect, but you have claimed that during your CAT form filling, there is a chance that you might not get marks for it and you might be disqualified. So all the very best for you. See you soon.